everyone, it's Evie here and welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, welcome. I hope you decide to stick around and subscribe. In today's video, I'm going to be going through my bodybuilding costs. So I competed in my first ever season this year where I did 3 shows, and I started this journey back in January and it is now November. So we are going to be going through 11 months worth of costs. So if you are thinking about competing and you don't know how much it's going to cost you and you want maybe a bit of a breakdown on what to expect, then this video is for you, because if you have a rough number in your head, basically times that by 2, because that's basically what happened with me. I had a rough estimate in my head and kind of doubled. So this sport is very expensive, especially if you are a first-time competitor, because you are going into it blind and you need things for the first time. So let's get into the breakdown and I'll reveal the final cost at the end on how much I have spent over the last 11 months for bodybuilding. Ooh. Okay, so basically what I did is I created a Google Sheets. So this is on my iPad. I created a Google Sheets, and every time I had an expense, I added it onto my sheets and I created categories. So whether it was posing, show stuff, hair, makeup, tan, bikini, anything like that, I added it on here, how much it cost, and I also put the date of the transaction, any notes, etc., and then it automatically calculates at the bottom how much it cost altogether. So I thought that was really nice and handy. So let's start off with posing. So posing is definitely one of the things that you cannot skip, you cannot go cheap on, you cannot just start posing as a first-time competitor, especially once your prep starts, because posing is really hard. It is very fundamental and it is very important to your overall stage presence, and it does get marked and looked at on the day as part of your presentation. It's not just about your physique, it's not just about how muscly or how lean you are, it's also about how you pose on stage. Some federations you will also have an individual eye walk or routine. Other federations, it will just be you walking on stage and posing. So depending on what federation you choose, you might also want to start investing more posing sessions to try and get your individual routine down pat. So with posing, I found a coach at the gym, and my gym also has a posing room. That way it was really easy for me to get to. So she offered packages, and with the packages it's usually cheaper per session. So I purchased 1, 2, 3, I did 4 packages. 3 of the packages were 8 sessions and 1 of the packages was 6 sessions. So with all of those sessions put together, I spent $2,472.99 on posing. I feel like, I don't know, I don't think I regret the amount of sessions because it was really important, but I feel like maybe I could have spaced them out a little bit more, because I was going every single week and I was practicing almost every single day. So because I was going weekly, that's why I had so many more sessions. I think I would have maybe liked to do 1 less package and just spaced out some of them, but at the same time, posing, I was just really struggling. I'm such a stiff person. I couldn't get like the flow. So even though that's a lot of lessons, a lot of money, it was definitely worth it. And usually as a first-time competitor, you're going all out. Well, that was for me anyways. I was going all out because it was my first season and I wanted to make sure that I had, the basics nice and covered. Usually when people go into like other seasons, or like they bodybuild the next few years, you'll just do less sessions because you already have the basics down pat. So that was expense number 1, posing. Next up, I had a posing workshop. So that cost me $349, and that was with the Australian Posing School, which are very popular here in Sydney, or just like all over the world. But the reason why I didn't go with them initially for my individual posing is because it was over an hour drive to get there, and I'm just like, I'm not doing that. I'm filming. Oh, hello. You can say, all right, say hello to the camera. This is Katara, my beautiful greyhound, but I need you to go to bed so I can continue, okay? Go to bed. It's right there. Good girl. Thank you. Thank you for your participation. So yeah, that posing workshop cost me $349, and I did 5 different workshops over 2 days. And the main reason I wanted to do this because there was a walking workshop, and you think posing is hard. Walking in the particular way they want you to walk is even harder. I still do not have that walk anywhere close to where it needs to be because, again, I'm so stiff and like my arms were just so robotic. So annoying. But yeah, so I did a core control workshop, walking, how to present yourself, posing endurance, and there was one more, but I can't remember what it was. But it was really, really fun day. I was able to connect with other athletes, other first-time competitors, and overall I really, really did have a great experience. I don't know if I would, like if I was to compete again, I probably wouldn't do it again, just to, you know, save money where I could. But yeah, as a first-time competitor, don't know what to expect, need to learn how to walk, so it was very, very beneficial. Next up, I have my bikini. So of course, as a first-time competitor, I don't have a bikini, so I need to buy one. Or if you want to save costs, you can rent them off other people or rent them off websites. I really wanted to buy it because I really wanted to have it as a keepsake, as like a little memento. So my bikini did cost me $690. I got it from 67 bikinis, and like 90% of like competitors that I know buy from 67 bikinis because they're like middle of the range with pricing, really great quality, and you just know it's going to look good on stage. You can definitely, they have different Diamante options. So they do have like really basic ones, and then middle of the range, and then really, really high end. I went with the middle of the range. I didn't want to go too cheap with the bikini. So I think like the cheapest one you could get on there was around $300-400, but I went with like the middle of the range because I really wanted to, you know, look nice and sparkly on stage. I'll put definitely photos, throughout this video, I'll put photos on what everything looks like. But yeah, really, really love that bikini. And then halfway through prep, coach did mention, how do you feel about doing a second division? So we ended up doing swimsuit as well. Finding a one piece, oh, my back hurts. Finding a one piece is actually really, really hard because I don't think any other country does a swimsuit. Because usually that first division is now fit, model, then bikini, but a couple federations here in Australia have swimsuit, not all of them, just a couple. So we ended up doing swimsuit as well. So it was really, really hard to find someone to make a swimsuit. So I'm like, you know what? I'm actually going to rent it. So I was able to rent it for $115 off someone. I used it for 3 shows, sent it back. That way it's, you know, not just sitting in my cupboard like my bikini will be, but I really wanted to keep the bikini. So yeah. Next up, we have show day stuff. So each show did cost something different when it came to hair, makeup, and tan. So I did 2 federations. I did NBA, which is Natural Bodybuilding Australia, and I did A&B, which is, I don't actually know what that stands for, unfortunately. But let's do NBA first. So with NBA, we have registration that you have to pay for. You have the membership. You have the hair, makeup, and tan, and then you have your photo, your media package if you want media as well. So there is a lot to buy when you are about like 1 to 2 months out. That is where majority of your money is going to be going. Like your money will just be flying off the shelves as soon as it starts to booking things in for the actual show day. So we have NBA membership, $250, and that covers you for the whole year. And then you buy the registration. So the registration is you entering in the show and then each division that you do. So I did bikini and swimsuit, and and I entered each one 3 times because that's the max amount you could do. Obviously, if I was only doing bikini, this was only going to cost me half the amount, but I did both divisions. So if you are wanting to compete and save some cost, then obviously just do the one division. But I really wanted to go all out and give myself as much opportunity on stage that I possibly could. So yeah, NBA membership was $250. The registration was $440. I only went on stage 5 times for this one, so it was $110 less than Sydney, and that's because I missed it. The guy did not come and get me to remind me that I was due on stage, so fun. So $250 plus $440, so that was one show. And then you have your hair, makeup, tan. So I decided to do this through the show because everything was just in the one location, and I don't know how to do tan, I don't know how to do stage show makeup, and I'm like, it's all in one place. So that cost me $395. So for show 1, I also went to Melbourne. Now, this isn't really a show day cost that most people would probably do, but I wanted to do a couple shows. So I did go interstate, and I did have the flights and accommodation included in this cost because I use it for a show day purpose. So my flights cost me $998.52, and my accommodation was $419.82. And then I also did get a photo package for Melbourne, and that was $150 for 15 photos. So altogether, going to Melbourne and competing in Melbourne cost me $2,253.34. I do not regret that at all. I loved traveling to Melbourne, and we did some touristy stuff in a way, and it was just really cool to be in another state. So yeah, I really enjoyed it overall. So now we are moving on to Sydney, so show day 2. So hair, makeup, and tan was $495. The registration was $650, so that was for 6 divisions. And then the media package, so this was 10 photos plus an eye walk video, which was $325. So I wanted to get the eye walk video for the second show because I feel like I would have gotten over the initial jitters, and obviously you usually lean out between shows as well. So I really wanted the eye walk video for that. So Sydney came to, so for my Sydney show, it came to $1,405. Obviously, again, there are so many costs that you can cut here. So you don't have to get the media package. You don't have to get the eye walk. You don't have to, what's it called? You don't have to go into so many divisions and categories. And then if you want, you can also try and do your own hair, makeup, and tan. So that's, so many costs that you can save. But because as a first-time competitor, like I said, I don't know how to do stage makeup. I don't know how to do a tan. So I'm just like, I'm going to leave these to the experts, and because I want to look my best on stage. Okay, and then we move on to A and B. So for A and B, the membership was $175. The registration was $470. That was for 4 categories because that's the max you could do. So I did 3 in bikini and 1 in swimsuit, where I got overall swimsuit champion. So hair, makeup, and tan, I spent a total of $430. So for show number 3, I spent $1,324. Initially, I was not going to get any photos from this show, but because I got overall champion, I was like, well, I need to get photos now because that's the show that I did best in. So yeah. Okay, then we have a couple of additional stuff. So I also got my arms wax, which I never had before, in a Brazilian done. That cost me $90. So I did that just for show day purposes. I also got a photo shoot done, and that cost me $400 as well. So that's basically all the costs except for one. So the one cost that I haven't mentioned yet is a coach. Obviously, you need a coach to be able to do this. If you do this on your own, don't know how you're going to do it because you have to try and keep yourself accountable. And I feel like if you were to do a prep and a bodybuild on your own, you're going to give yourself more grace. So you're probably going to be eating more than you should. You're probably not going to push yourself as much as you could. So definitely needed a coach. So for prep, when you're doing the building phase, you're doing weekly check-ins. So it's like a lifestyle charge. But then when you go into prep, it becomes daily check-ins and daily communication, so the price then gets bumped up. So I was paying $88 for prep. So Initially, I was with another company, but then my coach left, so then I just went with her. So initially, the lifestyle with them was $89 and the prep was $129. So I did include the cost that I was paying for that, but now I'm paying $88 for the daily communication. So for coaching, as of yesterday, so as of November 3rd, I have spent $3,684 on coaching. So that is where the majority of the money is going to be coming from, because you're obviously paying someone for their services on a weekly basis. So yeah, obviously this is a lot. Like, I did a lot of posing. I did 3 shows. I entered both categories multiple times. I flew interstate, so there's a lot that went into this cost. Now, for the final cost without the coaching element, because I just feel like I wanted to include it, but then I also wanted to not include it because anyways. So without the coaching, everything came to $9,563.33. With the coaching, it came to a total of $13,247. That is a lot of money. I am aware of that. That could be a holiday, that could be a car, that could be a lot of things to a lot of people. But I also want to reiterate, I have a second job. That second job is what paid for this competition. I did not want to touch my full-time job's money for this, because that is for the mortgage, that is for groceries, for bills, and etc. If I did not have this second job, I'm telling you now, I would not have done this, because my initial figure I had written down was between 5,000 to 7,000, and I spent double that. So yeah, you can definitely get things cheaper. I actually just realized I forgot to mention my shoes. My shoes, I got them off Facebook Marketplace for $50. Posing shoes usually go for about $250 to $300. So add $50 to that. Jewelry, I had a friend that actually gave me jewelry, so I saved money on that. You don't have to go expensive on stuff, and then you can just buy like a silk robe, which I also got off Shein for like $10. So there are a lot of ways that I did save money. There are a lot of things that I went extra with, going interstate, buying my bikini instead of renting it. But overall, I'm really, really happy that I did this experience. I have ticked it off my bucket list. I have challenged my body in ways that I didn't even know was possible. And I have made it out to the other side. So yeah, I am now 9 days post show, 9 days into my reverse so far, feeling good, but I'll definitely be doing reverse diaries for that. So yeah. Okay, so that brings me to the end of this video, how much my bodybuilding competition cost me. So I really gave you a breakdown on everything. So if you're thinking about competing, you don't know what to expect, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please make sure you give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, don't forget to subscribe. And you can also follow me along on TikTok and Instagram, where I post quite often. So yeah, make sure you follow me along on there. And I hope you guys are having an amazing day wherever you are. And just remember that one bad day isn't a setback, and tomorrow can always be better. Bye.